Hey, welcome back. You're listening to The Roundtable. This is Real Estate Simplified. I'm your host, Emilio DiSpirito, our co-host, Zachary LeVake. And we are here with a very, very special guest, Kendra Chatterley of Rise Interiors. You know, Kendra is a home designer and stager, and she actually worked with my team on a home that was on the market with a previous agent for a long time. I want to say 6 months, and then we took the house over and we completely revamped how the home looked. And one of the things that we did that worked out extremely well was we had the home staged. Now, she went in there and she did a ton of different things, and I'll let her explain a little bit more about what she did. But let me tell you something. We went in there and we retook all the pictures after. It looked like a complete different home, and it appealed to a larger group of buyers, and the home actually sold extremely quick at that point. The sellers were extremely happy. They got closer to a price that they were looking for, and all around, everybody, you know, was a lot happier, including the buyers that walked in there and could picture themselves in the home. So, Kendra, you know, you've got a pretty impressive background and education in this. You've got an associate's and bachelor's degree in interior design from Wentworth Institute of Technology right in Boston. And I know for a fact that you pay high attention to detail, and you've got a diverse background, and you're passionate about what you do. You also have 2 boys at home.
I do. Full house.
And you're married. So
I am.
Going into a house, you can understand that, you know, you're not going into a house, you're going into somebody's home.
Right.
And it's important, obviously.
It is important. It's something that I think sometimes as an industry, you know, we take for granted. I mean, we're coming into someone's home, and this isn't just their building. This is where their memories are made. This is where their life exists. So, for example, in that home that we helped you with previously, we used all the customers' existing materials. I mean, it was still their home. It was something they still felt comfortable to live in during this transition. We literally just helped them kind of organize it a little bit differently, and I think also help them feel a bit more inspired about this big transition that was occurring in their life.
Yeah, I actually seen it. And it's so funny. I just want to touch upon that real quick. You said you went in there and used basically what they had. So a lot of people, when they think staging, they think that you're going to come bring a truckload of furniture in their house. It's going to cost them $47,500.
Right. I mean, the home that we staged, we actually did the whole job. I believe it was for like under $500.
Yeah.
And it was in, out, and done. So, you know, people have a tendency to think that it has to be a complicated thing to approach, and it doesn't. I mean, most people, if you have furniture, then we can really usually help you put it all together, and any home can be a showpiece. I mean, sometimes we just need a little bit of inspiration under our belt.
Some new feng shui.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly it. See?
Great. And I know you've got some interesting stuff to share with us today, kind of how our senses play a major role in selling a home. And I was wondering if you could let us know a little bit about.
Sure. So, you know, when you had asked me to come up on the show, I was completely thrilled and wanted to present something that, you know, all the listeners can really appreciate. I mean, let's face it, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all experience these things. And how someone experiences your home, you know, is really make or break difference when they enter it, especially a first impression. So, you know, initially using our senses, obviously visual is huge. You know, when someone's approaching a home and as upon entering a home, you know, almost instantly their decision's been made whether or not this is even something that's within their interest or something that's immediately written off.
Yeah.
So it's very important to, you know, to basically, you know, tidy up a little bit, but furniture arrangement has a major impact on how someone can picture themselves using that space. And then that's where I come in, is, you know, just simple, sometimes using the same furniture you've had in your living room for the past 10 years and just shifting it around a little bit. Opens up someone else's imagination how they could picture themselves in your home. And I think sometimes too it's difficult because people want to see themselves in the home, but it can be difficult if there's a lot of personal items within the home, and it's hard for them to see themselves there. So that's a quick way to kind of visually you know, streamline the process and help people start to see themselves there.
You bet, definitely.
And also too, natural light. That's one simple trick that is underestimated. Natural light creates a bright space. If it's a bright space, people want to be in it.
Better mood.
Exactly.
Vitamin
right.
D.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it lifts your spirits. It makes you want to stay there. If a space is hot or it's cold, another example of your senses. If it's hot or cold, no one wants to be in there.
Yes.
You want to create a space that people want to come in and stay. If they want to come in and stay, they might stay forever, and that's your key.
Well, not unless they buy.
No,
right?
exactly. Not a home guest.
If you're just joining us, by the way, you are listening to The Roundtable. This is Real Estate Simplified. We're here with our co-host, Zachary LeVake with Maverick Funding, and our special guest of today, Kendra Chatterley of Rise Interiors. And Kendra was just basically walking us through how she kind of stages a home to appeal to all of our senses, because that is how people, buy. They buy with their senses.
An experience.
Yeah,
It's an experience, and that's exactly what it is. It's design and your homes, and it just plays into the real estate market. It's an experience. You want someone to experience your home at the greatest point it can be, and that's when bringing in a stager can really help you polish it.
Absolutely, definitely. So what else do we have on that list?
So simple things, tactile. People touch things when they come through your home.
They do.
I'm not saying touch your personal belongings. I'm saying to put their hands on your countertop,
Sure.
and they touch handrails and all those little things that in day to day we forget about. Wipe them down, keep them clean, streamline the process, keep your counters empty. Include soft things. It sounds simple, but putting a throw on a couch that looks like someone would want to sit in and pull and read a book makes a big difference.
That is a great point. Yeah.
So, and the other quick thing too is, again, with clustering furniture within a home, always try to keep it in multiples of 2, and that's a crazy little fact. Because if you have a single seat or you have seating for 3, it becomes a more awkward. No one wants to sit by themselves.
Oh, like the third wheel.
That's exactly right. Right. So you want to keep it, for the most part, increments of 2 for gathering. But in the end, if there's a perfect little spot for grab a coffee and someone would want to sit down and read a book, emphasize that, make that a highlighted point.
Like a reading nook kind of
exactly.
in a window.
A window seat or a nice chair somewhere that's cozy that they'd want to picture themselves.
That's awesome.
And lastly, just as a food for thought, when people get into a home, even though they may not be eating things or tasting things, doesn't go unnoticed. So they picture themselves in your kitchen. They picture their family meals there. They picture other things. Mm-hmm. So even though it's not physically tasting something, it's an experience that they're in their head evolving. So.
Some of my clients bake cookies. And there was one open house where nobody actually ended up showing up, and I ate the entire plate of cookies.
Of course you did. Lunch.
Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Zach.
Oh, well, hopefully we can help fill the house more with people so they'll eat the cookies. You don't get stuck.
No, usually we do have a lot of traffic that comes in. So
definitely. Another simple task too, when you're preparing your house, and that's what I want people to understand is, you can bring in a home stager, but a lot of these things you can be proactive. You can get your house ready ahead of the game before the realtors even show up. Be aware, if you smoke cigarettes, if you have lots of animals, things like that, try to open up the house, air it out. And I'm saying the day of. As the week comes on, open up the windows a little bit.
Light some candles.
Exactly.
Yes. Bad odors are deal killers.
Yes. So if you do burn a candle, go gently on the scent, because no one wants to remember the scent of your candle. But if you go lavender, is always a safe bet. Anything linens, cotton, anything soft, it's something that becomes more of a detail in the background instead of something that hits them in the face when they walk in.
Yeah.
So it's all those little tricks, all those details, and it comes down to details. When you sell a home, in the big scheme of it, it's the details that sell the home.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I do want to add in one more point real quick, because we're about to go to a commercial break. I just want to add in, you don't have to sell a home to stage a home.
No.
You could actually, I've had friends do this. I've had friends, call in an interior designer and have them come make their space more homey.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going to have you do that with our office, because if you go in the DiSpirito team office, there's just there's great energy in there, but there's not enough, and I don't want to use the word feng shui again, but for lack of a better term.
Well, it's not reflective of your team.
That's because
the energy
you
from
did the design.
I did do this.
The energy from the team is not reflected in the space, and there's so much positive energy. And exactly, in any home, color. This is another thing for people that are preparing their homes, not necessarily for sale, but for the spring, for these warmer months ahead. Don't be afraid of color. I mean, paint is not forever. So be a little bit adventurous, because it can take you a long way, and it can really change your perspective on your spaces, on your home.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to learn more about what Kendra was talking about, or if you'd like to, have her give you a shout, why don't you text me stage at 401-359-2338, or you can check out theroundtableradio.com. We'll be right back.